Hey everyone, this is Jennifer. I need to set up June and it is in my new life planner. I will be using a make your own monthly kit from PlannerKate, and I also want to do maybe a perpetual calendar setup. So let's dive into June. I am still debating on if I want to use this planning pack because it holds all the things. I guess that's kind of the way I'm leaning since it's on the planner that I'm using in July, but it does hold the perpetual calendars, and I have a plan for this one. If you need ideas for how to use a perpetual calendar, I just put up a video, 10 different ways, and I went through and set this up a few different ways. And I think what I want to do for mine is meal planning. So I'm going to set this to the side because I need to get my other plans down first. Down to the beginning of the book here. This is the dashboard layout, and I have May done in here. So I guess maybe I need to check off to see if I got things done this month, because as I'm planning this, we're almost at the end of May. This is my current planner, and I have it in the clear folio. That's why I was like, do I want to use the planning pack? Do I want to use this? Because this holds the B6 size notebooks or the perpetual calendars in the back. So I have some options there. Okay, let's go through and see what we got done here. I did get this report done and this report. Not this one. I did registration, hotel checks, and PCR. So I have a few things I'm going to need to carry over to June, which is fine. So on this May spread, I used an actual kit made for the Erin Condren planner. For June, I'm using this make your own monthly, which just means it's not brand specific. It's just a 7x9 monthly kit, and it should work on just about any 7x9 planner on the market. The nice thing about this from PlannerKate is that the make your own monthlies are for kits and mini kits. So these brand specific kits are only for full kits. So if you fall in love with a mini kit pattern like I did on this Real Great Dad, you can still do a monthly that way, which is nice. Just makes lining up the header just a little bit easier. So we'll put that down, and then we'll put the header down next, and then the days of the week stickers. I actually think I want to see what something looks like. Here, I'm going to pull this up, but I'm going to gently do it and put it to the side in case I change my mind. But I think that this is, I don't mind a little white space either. And I think that this is a neutral enough planner that I'm not trying to cover up any pattern on the page, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then we'll just put the day of the week stickers on the header. All right, and these are not month specific either. So you'll see it doesn't say June on it. I might need to add a June sticker, but then again, the nice thing is if you wanted to use a mini kit from February in November, you could do that because there's nothing that's date specific on it. I am going to save these date dots for my sidebar. I think I'm going to go back to putting my birthdays and anniversaries there along with my monthly tasks because I feel like I definitely have a room for that. And I'll go ahead and put a June sticker down. This is sheet V77. And then we will jump into plans. So first up, I do have a retina scan, a retina check appointment on the 24th. So we'll put that down first. That is at 8 o'clock. And I'm just going to use this timed label sheet. This is sheet Y2 that comes as part of the Make Your Own Monthlies. And as I am sitting here now taking a broader look at this, I think I want to trim down. Do I? I was going to trim this down. We'll just leave it. It's fine. And then I guess I need to make a spot already for my monthly to-do list. So for that, I will use, I'll just use the this month sticker. At the top, and then one of these flags underneath. And I'll label that just to do. I don't think I need to break it down by section per se. And then I'm going to use a checklist off of the notes companion sheet. This is I3. Hopefully the checklists align with the spacing here. And seeing that retina appointment, I need to do my 6-month blood work check as well for the medication that I'm on for my eye. And then I might as well transfer this stuff over. So I still have my mileage log and cell reimbursement. And then I'm going to have no mileage for June, but I will need cell reimbursement again for June. And the May PTO report, that should be the last one that I have to do because my term as treasurer is over and I need to train the new person for June and July. And then I will have my other treasurer report due for June. And my other treasurer report for sorority. All right. Quite the to-do list already. Back to plans. That kind of spurred a little side note. We'll do my husband's on-call next, and I really like the thin grid washi on this notes companion page, so that's what we're going to use. It looks like he's on call this weekend here, so we'll go ahead. I'll put that towards the top, right underneath the dates. And we'll carry that over into Sunday. I think June 1st we are going to have a board meeting at church. So I'm going to pull this notes companion sheet again and use one of these darker blue flags. I am not for sure if that's going to happen or not. Based on people's work schedules, they've been moving it around quite a bit and rescheduling, but at least I can put it in. Then on the 6th, we have a sorority project dessert sales, and I think these are a little bit bigger than these flags, Or is my brain, my eyes, are they playing tricks on me? Nope, they're the same size. Okay, so we'll do bake sale or dessert sales on this one. And that is on the 6th in the evening, so a little bit farther down on the box. Then my husband has a graduation to go to on the 7th, and we'll use just a time label for that. That is from 10 to 12. I do try to put things like in chronological order, but sometimes that doesn't happen and then I just leave it. Then on the 13th, we are taking a trip to a pickleball tournament. And I think I'll use a flag for that as well, because I don't know exact times of when we're leaving and when we'll be returning and all of that. Our sorority meeting is going to be a little bit different this month too, because we need to install officers. So first I'll just put the regular meeting time on one of these appointment labels. So that should be at 6 o'clock. On a flag that we are installing officers. Then on the 19th, we are prepping for Bessie Bingo. So I'll go ahead and put that on a flag. Goes over here on the 19th. And then we have the Bethany celebration on the 21st. Looks like I'm also up to teach Sunday school in June. Took a little break here at the end of the school year, but we'll be back at it for the 22nd and the 29th. And I think I want to use something different. I'm going to use this compact vertical sheet CV6 and use these half dash labels up here. So that will stand out a little bit more on my calendar, so I can get those prepped ahead of time. That way they're done and I have the materials ready, and then I'm not stressing about it the week of. And I think that's it for plans. That'll keep us busy. And so what you need to know also about this is that for my monthly calendar, I only put things that are out of the routine. So let's say I go to church every Sunday. I'm not going to clutter up my calendar with that because I know I won't forget. Same thing with like our pickleball schedule. We play at certain times and certain days, and I just don't need to put it on here. So personal preference, but it keeps things a little bit more clean. Let's do the birthdays and anniversaries over here on the sidebar underneath this to-do list. And I do want to use the date dots off of this make your own monthly sheet. Looks like we have a birthday on the 9th, and I should probably put a flag that says birthdays and anniversaries. Actually, idea. I used to use these all the time, and I want to bring some of them back out. They're the EVT stickers, and I'm pretty sure, yep, right there, there's one that says happy birthday on it. And we'll just pick one that sort of matches the color scheme and put that down, and then I'll put birthdays underneath that. All right, the 9th. That's my father-in-law's birthday. And I think I'll write next to the number and then skip a line. All right, now I think we're done with this calendar page. However, I needed a monthly notes page. I love that they have May and June in here for us, but there's no dashboard or notes page. And I did like a archiving my planner video, and this is actually just a notes page that I snipped out of my old planner and popped in here that has everything that I need for my new planner. So I thought I could actually see how this could work. I'm going to use another. So what I did was I cut all of the extra notes pages out of my current planner because I'm not going to need them in that planner, and I know that as I only have a few weeks left in there. So this was just put in here, and I think I'll do the same thing for a maybe May and June. Actually, I'm changing my mind about where I want to put this. I want this that's actually in the planner to be the July notes page for this at the beginning and the end of the month. So I'm going to move that page. No, because I don't like it here either. That's the bad thing, is that you're going to be breaking up. We'll do this. We'll put that back where it was and add a notes page in between. So I think I also want to think about my monthly notes pages a little bit different here because it is summer break, and just do like June, July right next to each other, because I do work in education and I just feel like, I don't know, June and July are different for us as a family and for me being home more. And so I think my plans should be able to be adjusted to kind of reflect that. So we're going to do a 2-page spread here for June and July, and I'm just using some washi from my stash. This is a PlannerKate washi. She doesn't make washi anymore, but I'm going to use up what I have. It's one of my favorites with the popsicles for summer. Okay, and then we're going to use the doodle sheets for these June and July labels. And I think I'll actually put it down here at the bottom. And then if I want to use any of these other decorations on here, I can do that. Now, while I was grabbing some other stickers, I found this, which is super old, but it has the first day of fall, winter, spring, summer, and I wanted to use it on this for summer. So we have first day of summer right here. Put that here. All right, back to the 2-page spread. I do have these larger daily duo labels in the PlannerKate Rainbow, and I think they'll work for what I'm thinking about doing. So we'll just start on the June page, and I know in my mind that these are things that could happen, you know, like June or July. It's not really month specific. Just I need to focus on some of these things while I'm at home. And I might pull in some more of these EVT stickers. And I like this today as a fresh start. EVT 71. If these are out of stock, you can just email Kate and see if she'll restock them. Put that here. So just a reminder that for myself, you know, summer is a little bit of a time for me for rest and relaxation, and every day doesn't have to be super productive. Yesterday was one of those days, but then the next day I can be back at it and be productive, and that's okay too. These checklists are made for the EC hourly, but I feel like they're the ones that I used on my other notes page, and it was close enough, the alignment, that it didn't bother me. So we're going to do that again. And then I'm just going to sit here and kind of think about my house and go through each room in my mind and what really needs to be a priority for these next 2 months of summer break when I have some extra time. All right, that's a good start there. I can always add more as I think of those. Let's move over to this July page because I just have a feeling that this is going to happen a little bit more into July, and that is back to school prep. I feel like I always need a back to school section or notes space in my planner. And my son's going into 6th grade, so we have kind of his back to school prep and then my own. So I think I'll do one of each just to keep things separate. We will do a don't forget sticker for his side. And then mine, I'm just going to handwrite in back to work. And of course, a checklist under each of those. And I'll probably just do the matching checklist. Okay, so for my son, very important, he has immunizations that are due this year going back into 6th grade, which is out of the norm. Then we will do a back to school fall clothes shopping for sure. And then his flute is being repaired, so we'll need to pick that up at some point from the music shop for summer band. Now for me, for back to work is going to look a little bit different. I'm kind of dreading it, but I'm also excited. I am moving my entire office to a different building. I am a special ed coordinator, so I go to 3 different buildings, and it just worked out this year that that's happening. So I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to unpack. And I'll do a back to school clothes check for myself. And I always do my car detail. I pay to have it professionally done just so I start off fresh and clean. Just a good time for us to do that as well. And we'll leave that there for now. Okay, so this will definitely fill up as we kind of head into June and July, and I might add some more sections for just fun things. Actually, why don't I just dedicate right now a space to that, because I don't want it to be all work and no play, so to speak. So I'll leave room up there and just make a section down here. We will do a family time sticker. I think that's appropriate. and add a checklist. I probably should have checked, just put down the checklist first. Yeah, I should have, because now it looks like one too many. Good thing about PlannerKate is they are repositionable. I do have a couple of things that I want to do as a family this summer, so I'll go ahead and put those down real quick. All right, I think that is a good start for the summer overview. Now, the last thing that I wanted to do was set up my June meal plans in my Perpetual Calendar. I won't do all of the meal planning in here today, but I wanted to show you at least the start of that. So let's see. In my little sampler book, this is what that looked like over here on the October page. So we're going to kind of replicate that, but I am going to add some stickers. So let me put this over here, get this area cleaned up a little bit, and then we will head into this Perpetual Calendar. So this does have a January start, obviously, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. The point is that I'm going to have a year's worth of meal plans in one book. So we're going to use that, and then I need to get some transparent stickers out. And we're going to use this washi again at the top. Maybe if I make my meal planning cute, I'll be more likely to use it. We'll see. You know, if you've watched my channel, how many times has Jennifer tried to do meal planning and fails miserably? So we're going to take a different approach and hope that it sticks. The other thing is I do have like an autoimmune disease, and I'm learning more about that, and I wanted to look up there's like an autoimmune diet. I just have a ton of inflammation, and I thought maybe that would help eating those low inflammation foods. Okay, so I want Saturday and Sunday to be marked with these transparent dots. That just shows me when I open this up, I can tell very quickly that it is the weekend, and I don't really think we're going to be meal planning on the weekends. It'll be a Monday through Friday situation. So it looks like the first Saturday is the 7th. So we'll do that color and then a green on the 8th. And then we have the 14th and the 15th. Okay, so weekends are marked, and then I can label this. You know what? I probably should have started this on the January page. And since I'm covering it up, that's okay. I could have made January, June, but we're going with it. This is that doodle sheet again that I used in my actual planner here. So I have the smaller option for June label of the month. And then I do want to use my thin dash strips to do a grocery column. And while I am here on summer break, again, that kind of changes things because I can make the trip out of town to do like an Aldi pickup, which we love, or just go in and shop. But we don't have an Aldi here in town, and that does require me to make a trip. So I'll have more time to do that. And then I'm going to use V45 for those two labels. So we'll do a Walmart list and an Aldi list. Now, as I am prepping this video, let me look and see what the date is, because I need to plan a little bit into June, I think. Today is the 27th. Yep, so I don't need to do that quite yet. but off camera, I will start planning my meals. So what I'll do is I will write down the meal on the line. I will account for leftovers because we are leftover people, and I will not do any meal planning on these stickered weekends. And then I'll keep my grocery list going over here on the sidebar. And then I can take this with me when I go to the store. It is nice and portable. All right, guys, I think that is going to wrap up June prep and sort of summer list organization and heading into meal planning with a different perspective. That will hopefully help me out. I love that these match, and yeah, I'm happy with it. Let me know how your summer is going, or like, I'm very curious. Obviously, not everyone has like 12 weeks off in a row, so that definitely shifts my planning. Do your summers look different? Or maybe not summer, maybe is there a large chunk of your year where your planning just has to shift and adjust? I think that's interesting. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back next time.